Alright, I'm checking out my stats here. Hello, radio. Hello, Illinois. And I gotta manually push out. I'm online here, so give me a second. You all talks amongst yourself if anybody's even in the room. I'm too small to get live chat. Someday when I grow up, I will have live chat. Oh, Cody's got to make his little debut. Well, good thing we didn't start the show yet. I'd be pissed off. Cody, it's okay, Cody. I'm going to mute this so you don't hear the dog. Okay, folks, I'm just sending out a message to let people know I'm online. Give me 1 second. You're going to like this show tonight. I'm giving you a preview of what we're going to be talking about first. See these black blobs behind the earth? Wait till you see what I show you after this. And I saw another. All right, hang on. I got to do this, otherwise I'm going to echo. Hang on 1 second. Hang on. All right, folks. I had to put a manual push out. Cody's jealous because he's not on TV. I haven't given him control of the microphone yet, so he hasn't earned it lately. He's been a little lazy. Okay. All right. We got a lot of shit to go over here because, oh, I got to turn off my other one. Hang on. There you go. I'm live streaming myself here. Hang on. Mute. How do I mute this thing here? Okay. That delay's pretty good. All right. I have to monitor there because sometimes I'll cut the screen off. I'm still learning how to do all this stuff. I'm getting pretty good at it, though. Okay, what you're looking at here, folks, most of you have never seen this before, unless you're a space geek like I am. I've been watching this for over 3 years now, and I've done extensive studies. Not that that matters, but the picture is going to say everything. You don't have to know any of this. This little white dot, let me show you right here. First of all, I want to show you the one here on the right. It's a different cut. Hang on, I got to get back to that screen. Give me a second here. Okay. I'm waiting for it to catch up. Give me 1 second. I'm making sure the picture still looks okay, that I'm not blocking anything. Sometimes my ugly mug covers up the screen. How long is my delay here? Sorry about this. But I got people I'm waiting for to jump in the room. I cannot see right now who's in the chat. I'm going to try and watch that off my cell phone. All right, good. I'm not blocking anything. All right. First of all, can you see my mouse? Yes. Right. No? Yes. Okay. If you look at this screen, to your right, you'll see it's all yellow, and there's arrows coming. The right half of the screen that you're looking at, you're right. Okay? That's where the sun is at. And you'll see those big arrows coming towards the red bow echo there. That's what that's called, like a bow when you shoot a bow and arrow. That is your Earth's magnetic field. This is what I keep telling people. We're in a grand solar minimum. A grand solar minimum is even more minimum than a regular minimum. That makes sense. That's why you keep hearing, if you pay attention, the scientists are saying we're going to end up in a mini ice age for the next 10 years or something like that. So what's happening is the sun is contracting, meaning it's pulling in its corona. The corona is, if you ever seen a solar eclipse like last summer, excuse me, when the planet gets in the middle, or whatever they did with that, you'll usually see the sun gets darked out, and you'll see the flames kind of coming off the edges. That's the corona, okay? So that corona is really pulling in tight. When that happens, your planets that live off the sun, basically, they are expanding. So you would think it would be the opposite. But what happens is we're having a lot of coronal holes, they're called. Coronal holes is like a clear day with no clouds on Earth. When there's no clouds on the sun, it's not really clouds, but when you see that big hole, sometimes it takes up half the sun, all the energy from the center of the sun comes straight out and nothing blocks it. Normally, you have a shield around the sun, like clouds, that slows that process way down. So what's happening is, because we're in a solar minimum, what that means is we don't have all these explosions called coronal mass ejections, CMEs. That is what charges this solar shield, okay? So when we have CMEs on a regular basis during a normal cycle, when it's constantly being hit, that actually is good for the Earth because it charges up our magnetic field. So see that number 20? It goes negative 20 behind the Earth. To the left of that circle in the middle, that red or the white dot is the Earth itself. Then the satellite belt goes around it in that blue little line that goes around that black circle. And you'll see them. There's little Pac-Man looking things and old asteroid stuff going around in the circles there. They've cut the time. I cannot go back too far. They've already started scrubbing this. So what I've caught, you're not going to be able to see tomorrow. I guarantee it. Because a lot of shit just happened. This blob, this purple blob you see behind the Earth, that means to your left of the Earth. I've been watching this thing for years. I've never seen that much energy. It's not even on the scale. Look to your right. The scale, it's not even on there. Okay, so there's something behind Earth. Now, we know Jupiter is starting to line up in line with the sun. The Earth's in the middle. I think Mars is going to line up. Moon is going to line up eventually when it spins around. And it's the first time in a long, long time that all these planets, especially the giant gas planets, are going to be in a straight line. It's coming up soon, too. We don't know what that's going to do. Now, Jupiter, some say, is Nibiru that you hear about. Nibiru was the god that all these people prayed to years ago before they knew all this stuff. So now, that planet is so large, it was almost the sun itself. So some people believe that's the binary twin to the sun. Every sun in the universe has a binary twin, except ours, until recently. Now, NASA has been slowly trickling out Planet X info again the last couple months. Everybody denies it didn't exist. Well, it does, and they admit it. Okay? Now, in the 1980s, you can go Google Planet X, 1980s news articles that's still out there. We were going crazy looking for Planet X. The reason they know there's a Planet X, X in mathematics is like the unknown. That's why they called it X. It has nothing to do with anything else. Planet X, they know is out there because it was tilting the gas giant, Jupiter and Saturn. So something beyond that point was tugging on Jupiter and Saturn enough to where the sun, it was overriding the sun's own gravity or whatever it is that pulls on it this way. So there's a question about gravity and electronic universe and all that. So whatever you believe, you believe. So those things are tilting. Well, now they said, NASA has told us, and you can go to space.com and verify this, or NASA. All the planets have tilted, I think up to 20 degrees, I believe, including the Earth. That's why people keep saying, I've been watching sunsets in my backyard, and it always would set by this tree in the middle of summer, and now it's setting further north. You will see right now, about this time of year, the sun is setting almost due north. It's about north. It's northwest still, but it's not in the west anymore. You look to your nighttime sky, and it'll be halfway between northwest and north, closer to north than northwest at the peak of summer. I watched that last summer happen as well. Well, that's happening because the Earth is tilted. And as a matter of fact, they are starting to wonder, that's the weather, and they're tied in with NASA. They both have control over these satellites that we're watching right now, and either one can turn them off. And I'll show you, some have been turned off already. Since this incident happened, I'm about to show you. There was a big explosion again in space. It's the second time in months that this has happened. You'll see this umbrella-looking thing that comes out. It almost looks like some kind of space weapon. They have an ocular block that doesn't allow us to see what's below. They say it's attached to the satellite. It was to block the glare from Earth, I guess, on this one view that I'm talking about. Because it would be too bright, so they put this little piece of wood on there or something that would block. I don't know. It's all BS as far as I'm concerned. Now, more important, look at these arrows. You've been staring at it for 5 minutes. The wind from the sun right now is about 300. I think it says it up there. It's on the other screen. Yeah, there it is. On the right corner, you see max 304, 311. That's your wind speed or space wind, okay? That's kilometers per second. So at 300, That's about the high end of normal. We just came out of a period last week. We were running over 700 kilometers a second, which is 1.5 million miles per hour, almost pushing 2 million miles per hour. Now, that's hitting that bow echo in the front. When that wind gets that high and we have no charge to the solar magnetic field, more energy gets through to the Earth. And when that happens, one, it affects you, which that's why they tell heart patients and so forth to stay out of the sun, not just because it's hot, not because you're getting UVB, A, and now C at certain points of the day. Depending where you're at, you're going to get some UVC hitting you, which is not possible according to United States, Canada, Europe. All those countries tell you that is not possible. But we're getting readings all over the country showing about, I've seen as high as 60. So if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, UVC can break your DNA in half, blows it up at the speed of light. You're talking about high energy protons, okay? Those are not friendly to your cells. So when people are complaining that they're getting sunburn through thick jeans that they wear when they're working outside, that's different than life used to be, not even 5 years ago. So that's a whole nother topic. Look at the arrows right here. You got arrows from that purple blob, whatever that is. That's energy coming from behind the planet, by the way. Look at the arrows going to the top of the Earth from that blob. You will see that they turn around and start heading back towards the sun. Now, the sun's traveling. The wind from the sun is 300 kilometers a second. If that wind coming from whatever is the cause behind Earth is strong enough to counter the 300 kilometers a second of the sun, that's a pretty big object. Or it's pretty close to Earth, one or the other. So the wind is turning around. After it passes, the solar wind passes the Earth. It's making a U-turn and going up and over the top of the Earth and under the Earth, coming back around. So, folks, look at the arrows. That's what I'm pointing at right now. Check those arrows out. I don't know if you can see my fingers there. And that is not supposed to be happening. The wind is not supposed to come around the back like it's a whirlpool when you're in an old above-ground pool and you guys would run in circles, make that little whirlpool. That's basically what's happening here, but with solar wind. However, the sun is quiet right now. Okay, so let's go to another picture. This is going to get crazy in a second. Right here. Now, maybe I can put that up on top. Hang on one second. I got to move this screen here. Okay. This is about to really freak you out. If you look here, this is June 11th, which was yesterday, 9 o'clock UTC. That's Universal Time. Subtract or add 5 hours, and that's what time it was here. So that's 0900. That's 9 in the morning. 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. So that's about 2 in the afternoon our time yesterday. 2 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday. Okay? Look at this one. Same thing. I'm looking at June 11th at 9:36. That was the closest I can get these two cameras. 9:39 was the closest because their times aren't linked. One is stereo ahead and the other one's LASCO. They're two different positions in space, both looking at the sun. Okay? So the sun is the white circle you see in the center of each of these pictures. The white circle shows you the size of the sun. The red on the right shows you the corona that they're blocking so the camera doesn't get bombarded by all that radiation. And on the left, they use a black circle showing where the corona would be. Okay, so you got flames coming out the left and right of the sun over on the left side, and you got flames basically doing the same on the right. Now, watch this on the right, this one here. I'm going to now they blocked I think they're doing this every 20 minutes. Let's see here. 9:24, 9:36. 24:36. So it's 6, that's what, 12 minutes. Watch the next frame. Ba-boom. Now, this isn't like a digital camera like your cell phone or your SLR, blah, blah, blah. These are particle cameras. They're little boxes. They work like an X-ray, basically, because you're dealing with high-energy protons and high-energy particles. So what happens is you can't get lens flare. So don't anybody tell me, oh, that's a lens flare like you see on my Samsung when I point at the sun and I see two suns every day in the sunset. Those aren't two suns. That's a problem with your chip, okay? It's so bright that you're seeing the chip is freaking out. This is millions of dollars worth of equipment. It's inside a box. It's just like an X-ray. Those particles only show up when they hit the camera, okay? So whatever the hell just happened on on June 11th at 10, 11, 12, 1, 2:48 in the afternoon our time. So about 3 o'clock yesterday. Was so overwhelming to the camera that it just blocked it out and zapped it and whatever the hell's going on here. So is there something that they're blocking and it moved by? There's no explosion. You can see here on the left. That's why I want both sides. I'm going to go over here. We'll go up. That's 9:48. Here we will go one up. 9:54. So I can get close. There's no giant explosion. So it wasn't like there was a big CME and it blew towards the camera. Everything looks the same. The only difference here is on the bottom left of this left screen. You see a big black line coming out, almost like there's something tugging to the left of the sun. And there's this white thing sticking out of the bottom of that where the corona is being blocked. So we'll go back to the right side. We'll go up 12 more minutes, gone. So 9:48, 10 o'clock. 12 minutes later, it's gone. So in 12 minutes, well, here, 9:36 to 10 o'clock. So it was at 15, 16 minutes, 14 minutes. In 14 minutes, we have a giant energy blast. Hits the camera. Camera resets. And we got, nothing happened. Or did they scrub it? Now, this is the only camera I can get this at. The other ones I can't get to that exact time. And they used to turn these off like they would have done here. This one they probably haven't scrubbed yet, the camera I'm looking at on the right. That's why I'm glad I'm recording this live time. I've tried this twice in the past, last summer. And when I recorded it offline, went to upload it, my computer overheated and erased everything. Luckily, I'd made a crude backup on a screen capture ahead of time because the second time I learned, make a copy first because this can happen. It's going to be a little harder for them to zap this in lifetime, but they're running lifetime. They could if they want. So if we go down, it's because they don't want anybody to see this right side picture. Where'd it go? 9. Right there. So I'm going to keep going forward. Let's see if anything else happens here. Hang on, let me write it up. I'll just play it full speed. It's also not letting me go too far back either. Usually I can go back 150 frames. That'll take me back about 2 days. And the other cameras, which I'll show you in a minute, are stuck in 2012. And they do that as a trick. They used to say websites down for service, like they do when they turn the space shuttle or whatever space station off. When they see a UFO or whatever, they always turn it off to the blue screen or whatever it's called. Now what they do is they keep the camera up, but it's 5-6-year-old data. So if some idiot goes by, oh, let me see what the LASCO is doing. Oh, it looks all good. They don't realize because they're not looking at the date close enough. They're looking at a picture from 6 years ago. So they're doing that now to trick people up to not even look any further. If you turn it off, that sparks suspicion. And people like me still catch that. So I've caught them deleting 24 hours of data before. You can see my older videos about it. I'll probably link it to this one. There's some funky shit flying around there. Look at that. Zapping right past it. Okay. So we're going into June 11th at 8, 9. Oh, it happened again. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I see I haven't gone this far. We have a second explosion. Right here. Oh, wait. Same one. All right. No. I'm sorry. That's the same one. 948. I thought the other one was over here. Wasn't it over here? No. I thought it was in the beginning. I'm sorry. I got excited for nothing. Okay. Well, we only got the one. All right, good. Well, I'd rather only have one because that's better for us. Where is this energy coming from? It didn't come from the sun, people. The sun is quiet. And if you look at all the reports, it's dormant. It's so dormant that the corona is pulling in. It's tightening up. I'm just going through one last time, make sure we didn't miss anything. I'm manually forwarding it. And, oh, there's a nice streaker there on the top left. Whatever that is. Some kind of flying star. I like the one that just went behind it. See this? Right behind the sun. Something went streaking, hauling ass. That was fast, whatever that was. But we're talking about deep space, so it could be anything. Okay? My whole point is when there's energy like this, they don't want us to know about it, and they're going to scrub this shit. Look at these weird things. I could show you video from last summer. It's on my site. Look at that. Look at that, dude. It's like the camera melted. I could show you where there was, I think, 6 objects last August parked around the sun. Like it was like a planetary body was just hovering around the sun. Now, I've heard this physicist lately, she got fired for talking about it. They're called stellar cores. And she's thinking stellar cores, and her theory is they are burned out stars from somewhere in deep space, and they just roam around looking for other suns, and then they latch on, and you'll see like a vortex, almost like an umbilical cord to these things, and you'll see the energy spin. It's like they're sucking out the sun's energy, and whether that's true or not, who the hell knows. But when you start seeing all these coronal, now here, you got to see this. Watch this. 1039. Look at this pulse. These are pulses, folks. Okay? Even that dot in the middle gets dimmer. Okay, watch this. 1039. Then we go 1139. Boom. 1 hour on the head. Watch this. 1239. 2 hours on the head. Okay? What is these pulses? This should be on the news. What is pulsating on the hour every hour? 1339. Again, it pulses again. Oh, 1439. Again, an hour on the head. 1539. Boom, goes dark again. Is this the sun? I have video on the web that I posted of my security camera, the 2.4 gigahertz one, that's running infrared all the time. You can tell because my leaves are a weird color, infrared color. And I get on certain days, usually between 2 and 4, you will start seeing these pulses start hitting the infrared light spectrum. And you will see the whole side of my house light up with this weird bright light that you can't see because we don't see in infrared, but my camera does. I have videos of that on my site. Is that what this is? 1539, that's 3 o'clock, add 5, that's almost 8:30 our time that we're pushing. So this started in late afternoon. That's the exact time I've caught this stuff on my camera. And I'll have to go back. If I made a video on the 11th of it, because I usually try to at least do it with my camera phone, I'll videotape the pulses. They're like pulses, but I don't know if this one correlates to any to the ones I've that I've taped. I'm jumping ahead here. Okay, so every hour on the hour, you're getting a pulse that's dimming the sun. Here, 8:39. And I'm going the wrong way. And 9:39. Oh, 9:39. What is going on here, folks? And 10:39. Every hour on the hour. What is doing this? Now we're into today, June 12th. This is noontime Central, so 5 o'clock our time. So this is a few hours ago. This is 4 hours ago. And there it is, 12:39. That's 7:39 our time. 8:39 our time. 9:39 no, 8:39 right there. 14 plus 5. We should be 5 hours ahead. Is today still 12th? Maybe it's 6 hours. I'm not a brain surgeon, so give me some slack. 15:39, 16:39. Maybe it's minus 5 hours. Whatever. 18:39. Every hour on the hour, we're getting a pulse, or whatever you want to call it. And look at this weird shit going on in about the 8 o'clock position of that corona. Go back and look. Hang on. Go back and look at whenever this happened. Look at how that's darkening. Is there something coming out of the sun, out of that little hole in the bottom left corner? Because, look, the circle doesn't go perfectly around. What is going on here? There's some funky stuff going on behind that ocular block. And here, I'm going to play this in full speed. Let me make this bigger. Watch this pulse in full speed. And if this bores you, I feel bad for you, because this is stuff that you're never going to see on the news. You're never going to hear why this is happening. I'm not a PhD scientist, but let's look at this a few times. I can tell as a layperson with 3 years of studying just this stuff that I never seen this ever. I'll see a pulse, but not every hour on the hour. What is causing this, and is this why we're getting more volcanoes? Is this why? Wait till you see. There was another pulse shot around the world today, from China all the way around to the United States, and when it hit Yellowstone, it vibrated Yellowstone's what do you call it? Seismograph, like there was a bull in a china shop, and you were recording the vibration as he's knocking all the shit down. That's what was going on at Yellowstone. So, are they aiming an energy weapon to activate certain volcanoes? And God help us if they're trying to jack with Yellowstone. And we're not even going to get into Agenda 30, Agenda 21, because nobody reads it. But if you read it, you'll see why they would do something like that, because it would be the quickest way to lower the population. Because here's what's happening. Whether you want to believe this or not, there was an article yesterday from the president of McDonald's that they're going to do 1,000 stores, I believe, a quarter. 1,000 stores per quarter in the United States are being converted to kiosk-only purchasing. So you go in, you got to do all the work yourself, punch in the codes, punch in your credit card, do all the work yourself to get a burger from there that's going to make you feel like puking in a half hour. Tastes great when it goes down. But when it hits your biome in your stomach's going, what the hell did you just put in here? Some fake shit. Whatever you want to call it. It's poison. Okay? So, you eat that, tastes great at the time, and then you get sick. I do anyways, a few hours later from the nasty shit that's in there. But you got to now buy it yourself, pay for it yourself, pick it up yourself, and guess what that means? All those people making minimum wage to start their careers are not going to have jobs. So when I was a kid, if you needed emergency money, you could always go to McDonald's, any McDonald's, go in there and get hired on the spot. And you're taking garbage out, do whatever. You're making $5 an hour back then, whatever it was. Now you make, what, 15? That's why they're getting rid of you. All these people that protested and wanted the government to raise the minimum wage to a living wage. You can't have a living wage at McDonald's but still have your burgers for $1. So you can't have your cake and eat it too, okay? So what did they do? They are going all automated. And I just saw a new machine that can flip 300 burgers an hour by itself. So they've already replaced the cook, the service staff in the front, the cash register people, which, by the way, you give them like 3 cents over on your order, and you totally screw them up because the computer doesn't tell them how to handle that, which is sad because when I worked in retail for a long time, you had to count backwards your money, but that's a whole nother thing. Nobody young is going to even know what I'm talking about. So, and I'm digressing here. My point is something going on with these pulses? Now, when CERN goes off, which most of you don't even know what the hell CERN is, CERN will dump when their power gets too high. They're running at 13 TeV, tera electron volts. That's 100 or 1,000 times, maybe 1,000. That's 1,000 times per their own website. 1,000 times stronger than the entire Earth's magnetic field of electric power. Okay? So when we get these pulses from space, they know they're coming. They fire up CERN. And that's how CERN, in the way they structured it in Europe, they put CERN right in the magnetic field lines. So when the magnetic field charges up from any of this space stuff coming, CERN fires up, and I guarantee you they're running higher than 13 TeV. They clip the meter. That means they stop it at 13. So whatever's, let's take your speedometer in the car stops at 100, but you're doing 150. You know you're doing 150, but the speedometer doesn't go any higher than that. That's what they do with CERN for us laymen to see. And they're getting all that power. You can't turn the generator on and create 13 tera electron volts. That's not even possible. So they're getting it out of the Earth's magnetic fields, and when certain things like these pulses come from outer space. Now, we had a big blast in 2004. I'll do that on another show. Okay, now back to this. We have wind blowing back towards the sun, stronger than the sun, from this blob of energy behind the Earth. Okay? Right here. Right here. Okay, now, this, they trick you up here. If you normally watch this graph, or this meter here, this is the bow echo of the Earth in magnetic field. This is the light side of the Earth. You see the white part? That's the lit side because it's facing the sun. The dark side is obviously the dark half. That number on the bottom goes 0 right there in the middle under the Earth, 5, 10, 15. Normally, the scale goes at least to 20. So they've shrunk the scale down so that it doesn't look as bad as it is. These are tricks they play. So if anybody ever wanted to follow this, I doubt you will. You will normally see 20 plus 20 over on the right side. So this is showing, oh, it's not collapsing that bad. It should be out to here, out past where these numbers are in the graph, okay? You know, the key that's on the bottom right, that's how far the echo usually goes. So something is pushing on that echo, okay, pushing it in towards the Earth. You'll see the satellite band. That's that dotted line around. See the dotted line? And there's little things spinning around. It shows you here. This is the satellites are listed on the right. So the GOES 13 is that triangle. The GOES 14 is the Spider-Man looking thing, you know, whatever. So it's showing you where the satellite. Those are watching the sun as well. We've looked at those satellites already. That's stereo ahead. And I'm looking for one more graph here. Hang on one second. They're getting covered up by each other. Let me close this. That doesn't really matter right now. Okay. I'm going to close this one. We already saw the pulsing. We're done with that. We already saw this magic moment where that blew out. I'm going to close these. Okay. And this is another, is this the same one? No. See the 20 over here on the bottom right? That's how far out it normally goes. Okay, now this is a different angle. Look how thick the red line is. And then yesterday, we had a figure 8 coming in around the Earth. So the electromagnetic field was making these weird loops going around the back half. And what's this one doing? Let me take a look here. I pulled this up for some reason. Oh, just to show that funky weird thing. See the bottom left of that ocular? See the white? There's something going on right in that corner. So that could be a spot. Maybe there's something on an angle coming out that direction that's tugging on it. But we don't know because they don't tell us. Okay. I'm going to close this one out. And that's right there. Oh, this one you didn't see yet. Check this out. This, if it looks to you like it's chaos, it is. That's your magnetic lines, okay? That's what's protecting you. Looks like a spider, kind of. Look at the red. It's collapsing. Going from 20 down to almost 0. Right about 0. And you get that figure 8 looking. Those are the magnetic lines connecting. And what's happening, people, is the energy, wherever it's coming from. Look at this. Look at these lines. They're supposed to go straight back, like a windstorm blowing, just like your hair in the wind. So picture that as like you have long hair and it's blowing in the wind. Like right now it's kind of normal, blowing back. Look at the red lines go way back. Those are magnetic field lines. Look at this. They're going way in space. And there's that blob. It's to the north of the Earth this time, top left corner. Whatever's interfering, people, this is not normal. Look at this. Look at this. And when I try to change the dates, they won't let me go any further back. So they're already scrubbed this one. You see the one satellite here? It's actually looking like it's not even staying on target there. Look at these lines. They're crisscrossing. It's all chaos. Look at these blobs of energy. There's 3 of them now. This one's growing on the bottom left. That's not normal. That's all I can tell you. So if you start feeling like shit, like around 7 o'clock tonight, this is the only reason I even pulled this up. I got hit with something. It felt like a wave of energy. That's why I turned this stuff on to see what was going on. Okay, and I still haven't looked at the Schumann resonance. We're going to do that live because I never show anybody this live. Let's take a look. We will go live to the Schumann resonance. And give me another tag here. Let me close this one out. And I will go to, it's easiest to get to from my website, wagchicago.com, because it's in Russian, so it's hard to pronounce. See this red, very first on the front page of my site. Click that button right there, the red one in the middle. It'll take you right to the Schumann Resonance Live Time. Hit the translate button. It translates it from Russian to English. The far right scale shows you live time. So it's 900 hours right there. And I don't know how they do it because they're doing Russian time, so I don't know. Right now, it looks pretty decent. On a bad day, you'll see giant white blobs of see down the way this works. On the top left, or the left column, you got 0, 40, 80, 120. Okay? You want to be at 7 to 8 hertz up in the very top half inch. You'll see this thing peg off down. They actually made the scale bigger now. It used to only go to 40. It does still go to 40. 40 is down there. I thought it said 400. It's 40.0. you'll see this thing go off the scale. So it'll go from 0 hertz. This is hertz. This is radio frequency or vibration. This is what's shaking your body, okay? When you were born into a 7.6 to 8 hertz constant ringing that your body has grown accustomed to. Whenever you're in here, you want to look at critical frequency, because there it shows you basically the amperage. If you're talking about electronics, the other one's volts. This is amps. We had a spike here on the June 12th at 1400 hours their time. And our live time is right here, so it's kind of spiking up again. But there was a big spike a few hours ago. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. It's about 16 hours ago there was a big spike. And if you correlate that with maybe some of these pulses, we'll see why. This is how much electricity or the sound power is going through your body. And here you can see it's at 8,500. Normal is between 2 and 6,000. Okay, so that's not good either. But this is a good example. When you see, like, the other one may be kind of quiet, take a look at this one and see how much power is coming out of it. That's basically, this is the amperage of the power if you were talking about electricity. So that's enough of that. There's a new heart website. I don't have it loaded here. That is monitoring this Schumann resonance in 6 or 7 locations around the world for people with heart conditions. They know this causes heart attacks. They know this turns off pacemakers. So this is some serious shit. Nobody pays attention to me. You will if you have a heart attack on a day that this thing blows. And I try to put it up there on the days I catch this. I may miss a day or two. So if you click my link, you will always see this live time by doing that. Okay? So if you're not feeling good, something weird's going on, see if there's a big white blob going up and down here. I wish there was one right now I could show you. I can't go back in time. This is it only shows you three points here. Actually, let me see if it's on here. Heart. This might be it. Heart.org. NOAA. NOAA runs this heart site. For you that don't believe me about the heart attack in this. And there it is right there. Heartmath.org. Okay? They're showing you the critical frequency, and they're also showing you the Schumann resonance last week, previous week. So they're showing you 4 weeks of data all the way up to the current time. So a few hours ago, we went off the chart. See, we're between last week and current week. That tops out. That went off the chart. Okay. 200 nanotesla. It's even higher than that. 600 kilometers a second. So that's hauling ass, by the way. That's over 1 million miles an hour. 1.5, I believe. 100 nanotesla. So the normal range here is 100 nanotesla. It's a lot of power, by the way. But there is a site I've told people about. And now you've seen it. Solar wind goes primary, goes secondary. Those are satellites. They use these satellites for the space station because they need to tell astronauts with about 8 minutes notice to get the hell into the lead room. Because when this thing spikes, they got 8 minutes. That's how far out the satellite is. So these are like buoys out in space. That's the main reason these are even out there. We know that we're protected for the most part by our magnetic field, except lately there may be a hole in it. There is a hole in it, and it's just a matter of where it is. And that could be why they're putting all those trails up to try and reflect the light coming out of those cracks. And that goes back to that 2004 event. You could look up on space.com. They talked about it. I believe it was a star exploding, or it could have possibly been 2 black holes colliding. They're not sure. But it was the brightest light science has ever seen in history. So take that to the bank. Let me close this out. And if I could pull it up real quick, I don't want to waste more of your time. If I still have it up here. know if I still have it up. I'll do another video on this if I'd have to. There was this pulse that went from China through the whole world in about 20 to 40 minutes total time. It affected every single earthquake graphing station in the planet. And last time I saw this, it went just around the United States. It took 18 minutes to get from New York to Washington State. This one took about double that to go around the world. So that's going through bedrock, granite, stuff like that. And I don't know what's going on here. What happened? We're freaking out here. The little gremlins are getting in here. What's going on? It's not responding. Looky here. It's saying Chrome shut down. All right. This is probably a good time to close this out. I don't even think I'm streaming anymore. Look at this. Did they lock me out? Am I still here? Yeah, I'm there. They cut me out. They just locked out all my screens closed. I was trying to close a couple. My Bitdefender's on, so something's going on when the security just kicked on. I'm going to log this thing off because they probably caught up to what we were doing here. And if I don't stop streaming, it won't save it. So this is WAG Chicago. I hope you learned something. I will come back later or tomorrow. I'll show you these waves of energy that went through the planet a little while ago. It went all the way around the planet. So are they direct energy weaponing maybe to set off a volcano? Or are they testing weapons? Is that why people are hearing these booms underground, the trumpets in the skies, all that shit? Who knows? But that must make me bigger. There's a good look at me in the dark. This is WAG Chicago. Hope you all have a safe week. Be healthy. As if you're not, you're fucked. Have a great night. I'm 10:42 and I'm getting tired just from talking too much. Have a good night. Thanks for watching.